Hey everybody, Super Vader 400 here, Douglas Blair Roberts here. Time for another video, and this time, as you can see by the title above, this is part 3 of my problems with pro-blacks, feminism, Christians, etc. Except in this video, I'm going to talk mostly about my problems with females, particularly African American females, and of course feminism, which of course I have a huge problem with. I will also be, as examples, I'll also be talking about the Tawana Brawley case from the late 80s, the Juanita Gibson Brian Banks case from the early 2000s, and I will also briefly talk about the Duke Lacrosse case, and of course I will also briefly discuss the Bill Cosby case and just my overall problem with women, especially African American women, who are the group of women I hate the most and consider to be the most vile and lowest of low. And in this video I will be explaining why. With that being said, it's time to hit my theme music and get this video started right now. Let me show you who I am and what I'm here for. Here for. Hey, trying to reach inside of me, trying to get my energy. Let me show you just what I'm made of. Simple curiosity, trying to take a bite of me. Let me show you just what I'm made of now. Hey everybody, this is the on-camera portion of my problem with feminism, African American women, etc. Problems I have with African American women. Now, before I start this video, let me get one thing clear. This is not any of my female friends in real life. My current female friends, that's friends in real life and friends on Facebook. These the women I'm talking about in this video are my mother, grandmother, 5 girls who did something in real life to anger me, and the African American women who commit heinous crimes in the media and on the news and constantly get away with it. And I'm sick of reading stuff like that, hearing stories about how black women ruin and destroy black men's and other men's lives and constantly get away with it. And 3 of the cases I'm about to talk about are 3 perfect examples of that. Let's start off with Tawana Brawley. In the late 80s, in the late 80s, a woman named Tawana Brawley, who would now be in her mid to late 40s now, fabricated a story and claimed she was raped, she was raped, beat up, um, raped, beat up, sprayed, um, sprayed, she covered herself in dog feces and claimed that a bunch of white people raped and did all those bad and racist things to her, but it was later turned out that she the story, fabricated the story. The first problem I had with this is first of all, she got away with this. She got away with this. No prison time, no prison time, no form of real punishment for lying like that and trying to ruin those guys' lives. Secondly, the guys who had their lives ruined had really almost no support from the media because this was a black woman. Thirdly, one woman, a scholar, I think her name was Patricia something, actually agreed with Tawana Bradley's fake allegations and said since black people were always victims of some kind of abuse throughout racism and abuse throughout history, oh, it was okay to lie right there. Right there. And last but not least, when it was proven to be all false, do you hear any black people coming up to step up and apologize? No, they just move on to the next case that's racist. Tawana Brawley to this day is famous and hasn't returned any of the money she obtained, and yeah, that's the problem I have with it, and I'm sick of it, I'm so sick of it is that if you're a black woman and you anger me in real life, and this was even before this case, you're a black woman and you anger me in real life because of the evil I've seen in the media and news, I will never forgive you. I will always hate you, man. I will always hate you. African American women, they're the worst of the worst. They're the worst of the worst. Not all African American are bad. There are actually three types. There's the first type, the niggas, the hair-hatted hoes, the ghetto ratchet chicks, the ghetto queens, loud mouth, aggressive, nobody likes, highly unattractive, nobody likes. There's the second type, the fake, phony pro-blacks, which this is the type I most recently tried to associate with for pro-blacks. They're usually more positive, but they constantly associate themselves with the ratchet chicks. They constantly excuse and defend them, and they talk about how much they are for black men, yet they do horrible things to black men and other black people and just don't care. Sorry, that was my dog right there. Yeah, I think he has hiccups. Let me go. What was I talking about? Oh yes. Then thirdly, there's what I like to call the brown women. My favorite type of women. They first off, the brown women come in all sorts of ethnicities, and they're usually not only facially attractive and beautiful, not only are they naturally and facially attractive and beautiful, but they're super kind people, almost like angels, and are the complete opposite of the first two group of African American women I just talked about. So I had to get that off. I had to get that off my chest right now. Let's go back to the rape cases. Yeah. By the way, I discovered this because the one of the YouTubers I follow, Tommy Sotomayor, mentioned all of these cases in one of his videos, and since he was talking about so many cases at once, I went to Wikipedia and looked up false rape allegations and saw all of these rape cases, and I just couldn't believe it. See, I always saw this. When I was younger, when I was younger, I was a savage woman beater. First off, anyone who comes at me and threatens me, I will fight back and defend myself. But when it came to women, I was an extreme bully. My discipline was cruel and unforgiving towards them, and I was harder with them than any other race, and I see why. And I always saw this, but my parents growing up always taught me to have respect for women, even the lowest of the low, which is, in my opinion, African American most African American women. I have a huge problem with white women too, but it's not to the extent of African Americans. And I actually respect Asian and most of the foreigners, even though they have their special people too, which I'll talk about in another video. Right now, African American women and feminists and yeah. The second case I'm going to talk about is the Banks case. Brian Banks was an American football player who was drafted out of high school for the Falcons Falcons in 2002. Shortly before his high school career ended, he was falsely accused by a woman named Juanita Gibson of rape, and this guy spent up to 5 years in prison. He later got it overturned more than 5 years in prison. Later got the sentence reduced when it was revealed that the woman once again fabricated the story. So this guy nearly lost everything and had to spend more than 5 years in prison because a woman straight up lied on him. And once again, no punishment. This woman won't even return the money. She even refused to admit that she lied about this story. And I'm sick of reading about stuff like this. I didn't realize it was this bad. Cause like I said, not only I mentioned in my last video that often pretended to care about women's problems to be rewarded, to not only get adulation and praise, but to be rewarded with dates and sex. But I also pretended. I scratched the pretended part. I actually did care a little bit. When you go back in history and look how bad it was for women, did have some bit of sympathy, but that was women back then. That's not happening now. You're just like the African Americans now who like to take credit, and constantly live in the past and focus on things that happened to another group of people that didn't happen to you. To you, and that's the same with what's his name? The women back then would kill to have the rights and stuff you women get today. Yeah, that was the second case. The third one, I don't know much about this one, but there was a lacrosse team at Duke University, and a black woman falsely accused of these white people of raping her. The white people, I think they got their scholarships removed. They got their scholarships revoked, and the head coach, actually ended up resigning. And then once again, it was later turned out to be another fabricated story. And once again, no punishment, no apology, no accountability, no anything. And see, once again, one problem I have is that men constantly defend these women, even though these women commit heinous crimes that are not for you. And I think one of the main reasons they defend them is, like I said, the adulation, the praise, and because these women probably won't sleep with them or will give them dates, go out with them if they don't defend them. So I can understand why women defend each other, because why do men, knowing these women really don't care? These women don't care. Another problem I have with black women is weave and makeup, man. And see, I'm mad about this because when I was younger, I used to let a lot of black women walk all over me and just verbally abuse and insult and make fun of the way I look. Well, look, the way I look right now is, apart from the shades, is for the most part how you look 24/7. I look 24/7. Yet I see most of these women with pounds and pounds of makeup on, which I used to actually believe was real skin. Like, how do you guys look younger now than you did several years ago? And then I used to actually believe that women hair magically grows overnight, and that women, when they get older, they get white people, Egyptian and Asian people's hair, man, and just, I used to let these hair-hatted, makeup wearing hooligans mock me. mock me and stuff. And see, I was raised as a Christian, so growing up, I couldn't stoop to their level like they could, because I was actually raised as a Christian. And unlike real Christians, you actually for the most part follow through with that. Yeah, you actually follow through with some of the followed through and actually tried to have accountability and tried to be a better person, so I couldn't stoop to their level. But if I wasn't raised as a Christian, I would not be tied down by stuff like that, and I would be able to hurt them like they hurt me without even touching them. So yeah, going back to the rape allegations, and then the last one is the Bill Cosby case. The Bill Cosby case, which this pissed me off. First off, if Bill Cosby did all these charges, did all these bad things, he should have they should have came out years ago. But instead they supposedly accepted some hush money. And if he did all these things, not only should they have talked years ago, but the hush money. And then that whole Bill Cosby thing, you saw so many whites and black women so happy to put another black man in jail, an elderly black man in jail, and some of these women probably fabricated and lied about these stories, and just waited to years to come back. And don't pretend that Bill Cosby was so powerful back then they couldn't witch call, because back then they were still, even though they were still doing bad things like hanging black people, doing horrible crimes to them. So you could have came up, what's his name? But that just showed feminism and females for what they are. And by the way, if anyone does get offended with this video, if you're not doing any of the crimes I'm saying, any of the crimes I described in this video, then this video is not for you. If you have done and are committing most of these crimes, false rape allegations, child support, and various other harassment, and constantly trying another man's manhood but can't take it when a man decides to turn it up and beat you down, then yeah, this video is for you. This video for you if you're doing all those bad things I talked about. But if you're not, shut up. This video is not for you. Well, once again, I talked longer than I wanted to. Alright, I'm done for now. I'll see you guys later, hopefully with a more positive topic.
Like a million faces, I recognize them all, and one by one they all become a number as they fall. In the face of reason, I can't take no more. One by one they all become a black mark on the floor. Is it me to say you're looking for? Let me show you who I am and what I have in store. It's more. Hey, yeah! Trying to reach inside of me, trying to take my energy. Let me show you just what I'm made of. Simple curiosity, trying to take a mind of me. Let me show you just what I'm made of.